The Locust, T.O.E. The Locust is a malevolent entity that crawls through the digital veil, preying on its victims via video calls. This monstrous figure doesn't just haunt, it invades, using technology as its doorway. With grotesque limbs and a hunger for organs, the Locust lurks in the background of online conversations, waiting to strike. Victims like Carter are drawn in through seemingly innocent interactions. Friends connecting on the messaging app Phen, only to be confronted by cryptic messages, sinister drawings, and the entity's quiet arrival on the screen. Once it appears, escape is nearly impossible. It doesn't leave marks, but it takes everything. Unlike conventional ghosts or demons, the Locust isn't bound by place or time. It uses connection as a weapon. It's a parasite of intimacy, feeding on the vulnerability we expose online. In an age of digital closeness, the Locust reminds us, your screen isn't a window, it's a door, and something might be waiting behind it. Thought forms, Greylock. In the haunting archives of Greylock, thought forms emerge as terrifying byproducts of grief, guilt, and raw human emotion. Created through a secretive process by the shady company Simiodyne USA, these beings are not ghosts, but sentient manifestations of unresolved inner turmoil. Using a device called the Thought Form Manifester, the company accelerates the birth of these creatures, allowing feelings to gain form and autonomy. They look like warped humans, animals, or worse. Anatomically impossible monstrosities that reflect the darkest aspects of their creator's psyche. They are dangerously intelligent, often hostile, and capable of independent thought. Arnold Rivers, a documentarian investigating Greylock, pays the ultimate price for probing too deep, attacked and killed by one of the very entities he was trying to understand. Thought forms are the embodiment of be careful what you create, making Greylock's quiet forests and abandoned sites breeding grounds for psychological and spiritual terror. The Painters, Mona Delanious and Bill Collins. Mona Delanious and Bill Collins, infamously known as the Painters, are perhaps the most viscerally terrifying duo in the analog horror world. Not supernatural but deeply human, their horror lies in the brutality of their actions. Leaving behind eerie, distorted paintings at each crime scene, the pair have murdered over 100 victims across the early 2000s. Their crimes captured through unsettling VHS-style case files. From bizarrely named murders like Stabby Stab Stab to grotesque culinary-themed massacres, the Painters seem less like killers and more like artists of chaos. Each crime scene is curated, a gallery of horror. Their victims often have symbolic meaning, with cryptic patterns suggesting deeper psychological games at play. What makes them truly horrifying is not just their acts, but the glee and precision with which they carry them out. They're not ghosts. They're worse, people who chose monstrosity and turned murder into modern art, and their gallery is still open. The Rolling Giant, the oldest view. The Rolling Giant is a grotesque, puppet-like monster lurking in the depths of the mysteriously reappeared Valley View Center, an abandoned mall that somehow exists beneath the earth. With a disturbing humanoid face resembling Rasputin and a body that moves by rolling, this entity emerges as Wyatt, the protagonist, ventures deeper into the forgotten structure using only his phone to document his findings. The mall itself feels like a decaying relic from another dimension, with silent escalators, flickering lights, and stairways etched into the walls leading to nowhere, or worse. Despite its absurd movement method, the Rolling Giant is a physical threat, relentlessly pursuing Wyatt through narrow corridors. The horror lies not only in its monstrous appearance, but also in the uncanny surrealism of its environment, making you question reality itself. The mall feels alive, cursed, and sentient, and the Rolling Giant is its most terrifying manifestation, proof that what was buried should have stayed buried. The Man, Man in the Suit. Known simply as the Man, this horrifying figure is the tragic result of obsession turned monstrous. Once a passionate Japanese actor enamored with Godzilla, he eventually becomes fused with a kaiju suit, body, mind, and spirit corrupted by radiation scars, grief, and nationalist trauma. What begins as a role evolves into an irreversible transformation. He grows grotesque in size, exhibits regenerative powers, and communicates only in animalistic growls. Fueled by the psychological weight of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, his hatred toward the West festers into uncontrollable violence. After attacking a fellow actor playing an American monster, his descent deepens, and soon he infects others by biting them, fusing them to their suits in a grotesque echo of his own mutation. The Man is not just a monster in a costume. He is the costume, embodying the horrors of war, cultural loss, and identity fragmentation. He is Godzilla not by design, but by horrific evolution, driven by rage, isolation, and something far older than cinema. Phen 228, the Boiled One phenomenon. Phen 228 is a skin-crawling, reality-warping entity at the center of a broadcast interference horror event known as Broadcast 813. First seen interrupting a 1990s nature documentary, this towering red-skinned humanoid appears disfigured and partially melted, like flesh twisted in a microwave. But the terror goes far beyond his appearance. Phen 228 has a unique ability. It can only be seen by cameras or those it chooses, and those who glimpse it are often cursed with terrifying symptoms, paralysis, psychosis, and even locked-in syndrome. WW2 veteran Jub Zamperini becomes its most notable victim, reduced to blinking out warnings in Morse code after becoming trapped in his own mind. Phen 228 invades homes, dreams, and consciousness, making its viewers suffer both physically and spiritually. Reciting Psalm 91:10 and using earplugs are the only rumored defenses, yet its broadcast leaves lasting damage, creating a lingering dread that challenges your grasp on sanity, perception, and the boundary between signal and possession. Bon, the Walton Files. Bon, the deceptively cheerful bunny mascot of Bon's Burgers, hides something far darker beneath his synthetic fur. Initially built as a friendly animatronic for children's entertainment, Bon becomes an unwitting vessel for violence and possession after a series of gruesome events, starting with the drunken accident that took Jack Walton's children. Co-created by Jack Walton and Felix Kranken, Bon was meant to be a symbol of joy, but now echoes with the suffering of those who died inside him. After Felix's descent into guilt and madness, employees begin disappearing, only to reappear stuffed into the animatronics themselves. Bon, with his cold digital eyes and stilted movements, becomes more than a machine. He is haunted, possibly sentient, and undeniably malevolent. His legacy is one of deception, hidden trauma, and corrupted innocence. The Walton Files turned Bon from a fuzzy mascot into an emblem of unresolved grief, where even the happiest songs are twisted lullabies of death and denial. Angel Gabby, Angel Hair. Angel Gabby is a white rabbit with yellow wings, the cheerful host of a children's cartoon from Jonah's youth called Angel Hair. But for Jonah, Gabby isn't just a nostalgic character, she's a lifeline to a time of pain, abuse, and emotional isolation. After rediscovering old VHS tapes of the show, Jonah notices something eerie. Angel Gabby begins responding to him directly, speaking as if aware of his past. As the tapes play, they reveal twisted, alternate versions of the episodes, Gabby's innocent teachings becoming more intrusive and personal, often addressing Jonah's deepest traumas. Is she trying to help him, or manipulate him further? What starts as a surreal comfort devolves into a psychological breakdown as Gabby blurs the line between memory and possession. With her soft-spoken voice and biblical teachings turned uncanny, Angel Gabby becomes a symbol of corrupted childhood innocence, where faith, trauma, and longing intertwine in unsettling, animated dread. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to discuss it or suggest new ideas, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next one.